I hate mixing. How I got into mixing is probably similar to some of you guys. Sometime after I learned to play guitar, I started writing songs, which was and is my favorite thing to do in the whole world. There weren't a lot of musicians in my area that liked the same music as me, so I couldn't form a band. My songs never went further than my guitar. I could only imagine what they might sound like with a full band. Then one day, my brother-in-law got a Mac with Logic Pro, and he showed me the basics of recording. What was cool was being able to create layers. I could record a guitar track, record a lead part over that, add some bass, and then search through the drum samples and find some loops. I'd hit the play button, sit back, and listen to my song come to life. It was so satisfying and addictive. I'd listen to it over and over again. Then I'd open up a new project so I could make another song. And for a while, that was enough for me. But eventually I wanted to start sharing my songs with other people so they could hear them the way I did. But somehow I just knew they were unfinished. My songs were missing something and I had no clue what it was. I might have learned more about mixing sooner if I'd spent more time with it, but because all my projects were on my brother-in-law's computer, I could only record something if I arranged a way to visit him. Plus, I had other interests, like filmmaking. I would circle around these different interests, picking up general tips here and there, but never really diving in deep enough to learn the craft. Eventually, with all these projects I wanted to do, I realized I needed my own computer. So I got a MacBook Pro and started making songs and movies. I soon realized you could look up tutorials on YouTube, but I wasn't really sure what to look for, and even if I found something important, I didn't understand how to use it. Like EQ. At first I would make huge boosts in the low end to make my songs more bassy, but later I heard you were only supposed to make little adjustments, no more than 3 dB. Then I heard you were only supposed to use cuts, because boosting just covers the mix. But after all that, I see people making boosts 6 dB or higher and getting awesome results. And that's how it is with everything. Compression, panning, mastering. It's learning and relearning over and over again. It was so overwhelming. I remember saying to a friend, I just want to get my mixes decent enough where people can hear the song for what it is. I longed for the day where all I had to do was play the part and let some other guy handle all the technical stuff. The more I did it though, the better I got, but it wasn't always rewarding. It wasn't like I'd learn something, use it in the mix, learn something new, use it in the next mix. It was backwards. I'd do the mix, learn all the important stuff after it's too late, so I'd do the next mix hoping to correct those mistakes, only to make new ones. I think I'm constantly learning what not to do more than I'm learning what to do. And where I'm at now is a curse. I'm good enough to understand the lingo, and I understand how things work, and my ears have developed enough to hear all the different aspects of a mix, but I'm not good enough to achieve the results I want for my own mix. Just when I think I've got things figured out, I always find a better way to do things. But I've noticed something. A couple months ago when I released my EP, I started looking through which songs I wanted to work on next, and I was excited. I was excited to get back in front of my speakers and record something. Excited to start tinkering and adjusting. It's still just as addictive as ever. Truth is, I've grown to love mixing. Some days I hate it, because I suck, but I've realized how valuable this skill set is. Sure, I look forward to working with someone better than me someday, but it's nice that I can make my ideas presentable. It all goes back to what I wanted in the first place, to be able to share my music so people could hear it for what it is. And that's why I love mixing. But what about you? Do you have a love-hate relationship with mixing? What's your favorite part of the process? Songwriting, recording, mixing, mastering? Let me know in the comment section below. Until next time. Like EQ. First I would make... Like EQ. At first I would make huge boosts in the low... Like EQ. At first I would make huge boosts... At first I would make huge boosts... Boosts. Like EQ. At first I would make... At first I would make huge boosts in the low end to make my songs more bassy. At first I would make huge boosts in the low end to make my songs more bassy. But later I heard you were supposed to only make... Gosh, this dang line, man. Like EQ. Like EQ. At first I heard you were... Alright, here we go. Like EQ. Crap. Alright, man.